Hey kids! Today we're going to talk about the Process West Intake Manifold. You have a WRX, you have a WRX, you need to buy one. You shouldn't buy one, but you need to anyways. How about you, Dylan? Do you want an intake manifold?
Yeah, I do.
Great, here you go. Take it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. On this episode of What's New with Import Image Racing, we're going to go over show and tell with our favorite Process West intake manifolds. Today I have Dylan as my student. We're going to see how much he knows or how much he doesn't know and try and educate him a little bit on this intake manifold, why he needs it, and why it's so great. So jump along, grab yourself a beverage, and enjoy. Dylan! Do you know when Process West was founded?
No.
2003, strike one.
That's the year I was born.
Wow.
It came out at the same time as me.
I feel old. I feel really old. Thanks, Dylan. I guess we really are in school. Okay. So, Process West, do you know where they're from?
No.
Australia! Land down under. Process West, Dylan, has been making fuel system components, intake manifolds, all kinds of stuff like that for 25 plus years at this point. What? So clearly they're older than you are too. Yeah. Because, you know, obviously a baby wouldn't be making these products, so it's definitely at least 2002 and older.
Yeah.
So that being said, the folks over there have made intake manifolds, intakes, and a whole lot of other parts for a whole lot of other platforms too. We have Subaru, we have Ford, and probably some other stuff that we don't get in America. That being said, we carry Process West intake manifolds. They make them for the EJ powered cars. You can do standard rotation, you can do reverse rotation. When I'm talking about that, we're talking about where the throttle body is located. So this, for the VB WRX, only comes in one standard rotation. Process West intake manifolds are very pretty to start off. One of my favorite things about them is that their plenums are all CNC billet aluminum made. So it blings up your engine bay, it adds more volume to your intake manifold because it replaces it with one with a bigger plenum. And also, for this one in particular, the runners are cast aluminum, so fitment's great. All things that you can expect out of the folks at Process West. They really, really take a lot of time in developing this. It took them a year to develop this intake manifold. That being said, that's a long time. It's worth it. You know, it's worth the wait. Currently, this is the only intake manifold on the market for the VB WRX. So a lot of people ask, why should I upgrade my intake manifold? Dylan, why don't you answer that question? Why should you upgrade your intake manifold?
For better flow.
That is a great point, Dylan. Better flow. We all look for better flow because what do you get out of better flow? Horsepower. That being said, compared to the factory intake manifold that comes on the VB WRX, that's plastic. Not only that, but the actual plenum itself does not really have a whole lot of volume. So really, the biggest gains that you will be seeing when you install this and tune your car is if you are running higher boost pressures and you're making a lot more power. That being said, the way that this manifold is designed, it can work on stock turbocharged cars. Process West did a test on a car that had an upgraded Blouch turbo where it saw gains of 12% horsepower, 10% torque through 2,500 RPMs to 6,500 RPMs.
Nice.
Just pretty rad. It gained, I want to say it was 41 horsepower throughout the entire range of the power band. So there's a lot to be had with this. It kind of falls under one of those buy once, cry once things because the first time that you do it, you won't ever have to buy it again. So that being said, Dylan, would you buy one of these?
Yeah, I would.
Do you own a Subaru?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
I do.
I don't believe you one bit. Dylan, you're sweating. Are you lying to me?
Maybe. No.
Why you always lying?
Oh, thank God.
Thank you.
So, Process West offers a version that works with completely factory everything, or you can get the version that is pictured here with the port injection fuel rails. The port injection setup does come with dummy injectors so that way if you are not doing the port injection setup just yet and you want to go ahead and throw this on, you can do those and you don't have to worry about plumbing or anything like that as of right yet. Of course, in doing the port injection setup, you're going to have to get injectors. We recommend Injector Dynamics. We also get this pamphlet from Process West that shows you how to install this, what all you need to do, and also tells you the lengths and the size of the injectors that you'll need for it to work. How's that, Dylan? That's pretty nice because it tells you literally everything that you need. So since these are in the United States, and the United States has been cracking down on emissions, Process West took the time and developed complete TGV housings with the butterflies also. To use them, which everyone has to if you're in the United States, unless you're an all-out race car, which if you are, contact Process West for undisclosed reasons. That being said, this will use the factory TGV motor. So that's part of why Process West is saying that this is no check engine light, because it does use factory TGV, and also it will use your factory EGR as well, which is really nice because that kind of makes it a completely plug-and-play solution. Another nice part about this is if you already have your car equipped with the Process West Stage 1 or Stage 2 intercooler kit, front mount only, this will not work with the top mount, Process West offers this adapter piping kit that makes it to be a complete plug-and-play solution. No welding, no cutting, nothing like that required. Literally bolt it in, consult your tuner, bada boom, bada bing, you're making power.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy, Dylan. That is exactly it. Dylan,
Yeah.
if your 22 WRX is equipped with, say, the venerable ETS front mount intercooler kit, do you think that this will be a bolt-on solution?
No.
Bing! You're right. Good job, Dylan. This throttle body position is ever so slightly different so that if you do have a different aftermarket front mount intercooler kit, you'll most likely have to have some custom fabrication done to make it work. This you can make work, but this is really designed to be used with Process West's proprietary products. Process West really takes pride in their products, not only because they're amazing, but also because of how well they package them. Process West creates specific foam packaging that is encasing around the intake manifold and the other proprietary parts inside the box, because we know FedEx and UPS do sometimes like to throw these things around and the drivers usually don't care. That being said, Process West has done their due diligence in making sure that these products are packaged tightly, snugly, and will arrive to you in great shape so that you can put them on your car. So Dylan, how much do you think this cost? We're talking about the port injection intake manifold. So of course the port injection intake manifold will cost a little bit more than the non-port injection intake manifold. Why? Because this takes more time to be made and there's more materials.
Maybe, I don't know, 800 to 1,000 maybe?
Bruh,
I don't know.
I wish.
Ah,
No, so the port injection intake manifold actually costs $3,100 US. The non-port injection intake manifold is $2,800, and then the adapter pipe kit is $340. So is it pricey? Yes, but for the folks that will actually be taking advantage of this intake manifold with the way that their cars will be set up, it's pennies on the dollar for what it'll do for you when you're making 5, 6, 7, 800 horsepower, if not more. Process West is saying that this should have no problems flowing 1,000 horsepower worth of air. We've yet to see a FA24 make that kind of power just yet, but I'm sure it won't be long before they do because folks like IAG are already making excellent engines for them. Outfront Motorsports is too, I believe. You have Motec, so you'll be able to control the port injection side of things. Dylan, what kind of person would be buying the port injection intake manifold versus the standard intake manifold?
I would say a pretty smart person.
Dylan, you were right. You're getting an A+, dude. The folks that are going to be doing the port injection intake manifold, they're kind of really the all-out people that want all the horsepower they can get, because you can only get so far with factory direct injection fueling. So adding in supplemental port fueling, you also have to have something to be able to control the injectors. So something like Motec, whoever's making aftermarket injector controllers for these. Then of course you're going to have to plumb your complete fuel system, change it to a return style fuel system. So there's a whole lot involved with that, but only the diehards that are really pushing the platform will really be taking use of this. If you are a weekend warrior and you're just doing max effort kind of stuff, the standard intake manifold, pair that with like say the 10% overdrive injectors by Nostrum or IAG, that will, you know, do a lot for your car too. So really, you have to look at what your goal for the car is. If it's really going to be something that you're going to be taking advantage of, making the most power possible, get the port injection set up. If you are just trying to enhance what's already there, make as much power as you can without going too extreme, the standard intake manifold will be great. We've had a lot of folks that have already gotten this, so we're eager to see the results that a lot of folks have. Some people, I believe, have turbo kits already for their cars, so seeing what it'll do with like the ETS turbo kit, going to be some awesome results, because the testing that Process West did was on a car with a stock location upgraded turbo, which those are great, don't get me wrong, but for folks that are really trying to push the platform, like TPG, their car, they just had a car that made 600 wheel horsepower on a completely factory unopened engine.
Wow.
Insane for Subaru. So we're excited to see that. Well, Dylan, do you have any questions for me?
Well, I was gonna ask, what are these brackets for?
To hold the intake manifold down.
Oh, okay.
That, yep.
Seems like a
Yeah, I mean, the brackets, so Process West includes everything that you need to install these. So you'll be moving some stuff around. This is all just made to work with what's in the car already. I haven't put one of these on yet, so I couldn't tell you exactly what these brackets do, but they're there for a reason, and Process West wouldn't include them if you didn't need them. These two intake manifolds, they look very similar. So this one is actually the one that is for non-port injection fueling, whereas this one, of course, is. So you can see the only difference is this manifold has holes and bosses welded into here. Well, cut a hole, welded a boss in that accepts the injectors and, of course, the hardware for your fuel rail and the rail itself. Whereas this, it doesn't. So that's why it's cheaper. These things are freaking sweet.
the welding on both of them are just...
Yeah. Process West TIG welds everything, and then they have a 5-axis, or I think a couple 5-axis CNC machines there, which is what made this beautiful plenum, and then of course the casting process for the runners. But this thing's sweet. Like, all of Process West intake manifolds are freaking sweet. All the high horsepower cars have them. They definitely dress up the engine bay a lot compared to, especially on the WRX, because those come with plastic intake manifolds. At least the EJs had metal intake manifolds that were red, most of them. But even still, this is a nice upgrade. On the EJ cars, you could do the standard raw color or black coating. You could do standard rotation throttle body, reverse rotation throttle body. Then also they do offer the intake manifold for the 15 to 21 WRX, which is only offered in the standard throttle body position, but you can also do, just like with the VB, you have the standard option that does not offer port fueling and the option that does offer port fueling. We keep them all here at Import Image Racing, so if anyone is looking for anything Process West, rather if it's intakes, intercoolers, intake manifolds, dress up bits and pieces, you name it, we keep it here on the shelf. The stuff does go pretty quick, so if you're wanting to get some of the best handcrafted pieces that you can get from Australia, the folks at Process West, holler at me, I'll sell it to you, Dylan will ship it, and that's what we do at Import Image Racing. Happy show and tell! Thanks, Dylan!
Yeah.